A short time ago, an American airplane dropped one bomb on Hiroshima and destroyed its usefulness to the enemy. That bomb has more power than 20,000 tons of TNT. The Japanese began the war from the air at Pearl Harbor. They have been repaid many-fold, and the end is not yet.
August 9th, 1945. It started out as any normal day. Children went to school, parents went to work. The weather was clear as ever. The story of Nagasaki shows a tragedy.
We knew the world would not be the same. Few people laughed. Few people cried. Most people were silent. I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." I suppose we all thought that one way or another.
Most survivors have some form of health issue after the bomb drop. But the first story I want to tell about Nagasaki, they were pretty much lucky enough to not have any long-lasting illnesses. "Don't go to school today," my mother said. "Why?" my sister asked. "Just don't." In this guy's story, he explains that there was air raids constantly.
Remember what to do, friends. Now tell me right out loud. What are you supposed to do when you see the flash?
His mother that day insisted that him and his sister stay home. When they asked why, all she said was, "I have a bad feeling." Him and his mom went out for a bit. They did a bit of shopping. But that's when someone said, "Plane."
And this control stick is like the handlebars on your tricycle. Now, would you like to see where we hang our coats?
No, thank you. I'd rather push this button.
No!
Boom! Explosion noise. The white flash is something that most people talked about in their stories of surviving the nuclear attacks. That clear blue sunny day turned into a dark shade of purple and gray. Most people who awoke from that, they thought they went to hell. In this guy's story, though, I'm going to continue on. They rushed home to his sister, and she was fine. Yeah, she was fine. This girl was another survivor of the bomb. In her story, she explains that America dropped letters that said August 8th is the day of destruction. Her father got a hold of the letter somehow. The government was confiscating them, by the way. And her father built a bomb bunker or bomb shelter in a local mountain. They stayed there the 7th and the 8th, and no bomb dropped. On the 9th, the family argued on whether to hide or to just go back to their home. But that day, her father and mother got in a fight that ended with her father storming out. The family, they soon changed their minds, actually. And luckily they did, because Her father was outside. Her father could have died, which would have been very tragic. But good news, they soon reunited with him. Whoa. Anyways, well, the sad thing about that is, well, let me just read what she said. However, he soon came down with diarrhea and a high fever. His hair began to fall out with dark spots formed on his skin. My father passed away, suffering greatly, on August 28th. She has said that she had a dream about him where they just smiled at each other, and she knows he's safe in the afterlife. The last story, well, this one, it's truly disturbing in a way. It explains like a hellscape. I don't really know. You'll see when I read his words. We had been hiding out in the local bomb shelter for several days, but one by one, people started to head home. My siblings and I played in front of the bomb shelter entrance, waiting to be picked up by our grandfather. Heavily injured burn victims came stumbling into the bomb shelter. Their skin had peeled off their bodies and faces and hung limply down the ground in ribbons. Their hair was burnt down to a few measly centimeters from their scalp. Many of the victims collapsed as soon as they reached the bomb shelter, forming a massive pile of contorted bodies. This guy and his siblings were stuck there for 3 days. Finally, though, their grandpa did come, which that's nice. I will never forget the hellscape that awaited us. Half-burnt bodies lay stiff on the ground, eyeballs gleaming from their sockets. Cattle lay dead along the side of the road, their abdomens grotesquely large and swollen. Thousands of bodies bopped up and down the river, bloated and purplish from the soaking of the water. Wait! I pleaded as my grandfather treaded a couple of paces ahead of me. I was terrified of being left behind. As you can tell, this is a very neat story. The story I just told, they show number 12. Never give up. The kids never gave up on their grandpa coming. They stayed there for 3 days waiting for him. The story about the girl that's, I guess dad died, shows number 5 and number 6. They're kind of similar, I guess. She's celebrating her successes and counting her blessings by being happy her father was safe. Well, her father did die. And the first story about the mom who told her children to stay home shows number 3, stay calm, by making sure her son is alive and focusing on getting her daughter. These stories really opened my eyes about a lot of things in the world. And also, raccoons are pretty cool.